Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of ISM Radio. I'm your host, Gage Simon, and I am here tonight at ISM's Executive Networking event in the library at the world-renowned Ohika Castle. And I have the pleasure of sitting here tonight with John Panetti from goldpatrons.com. And wait till you hear what these guys do. I went to your website, and I got to tell you, it's impressive.
Oh, thank
you, really
man.
is,
Thank
because people need this. They don't realize that this happens, and it's real.
Yeah.
And the scams that go on are incredible.
Yeah.
They really are.
When we started the company, originally, when you try to build any business and you're a young entrepreneur, let's call it, right? Your first thing is, how can I bring this to market to have average customers, social media marketing, so on and so forth, realize, hey, I need this. We were the first and still are the only deed and title theft protection recovery agency on the market. But taken back when we built Gold Patrons 6 years ago, deed and title theft fraud, it was really, really rare.
Right.
So we were in the B2C market trying to sell fire insurance to somebody who didn't discover fire yet. They had no idea it was a problem. And I'll never forget, I took my last $50,000 and I said, okay, we're gonna do social media marketing here, we're gonna do this marketing here, this, and I'll at least make my rent back.
Okay.
We got nothing.
Zero.
Nothing back.
Wow.
Because it had to be a multi-stage education platform of saying, hey, everybody, this is a thing that happens. It's rare, but it'll happen. And if you don't get our coverage, basically, you can potentially lose every single thing that you have ever had in your life, which is the American dream holding your home.
Yeah, it really is incredible when you think about it. Now, what do you think? Is it technology that ramped up, making it easier for them to pull this off? Like you said, years ago, it wasn't a thing. Now it's 1 in 67.
So yeah, 1 in 67 Americans will fall victim to deed and title theft fraud at some point in their life. But those are only the statistics we're seeing right now, as ultimately the fraud gets worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So let's just say you're hitting peak speed and you floored it. You say, well, my car can go 70 miles an hour. Because it just got going.
That's right.
It's going to get significantly worse.
Right.
But when it comes to the technology that's available nowadays versus 6 years ago, a couple different factors came into play. First of which, 6 years ago, AI technology was very, very new.
Right.
People didn't know what to do with it, but COVID changed the name of the game. Because when COVID happened, if you wanted to re-register your property at the clerk's office, right, you had to go there, typically or your attorney, physically and hand it in. And if you commit deed fraud in the United States, you're going to get caught at one point or another.
Okay.
We have one arrest in Florida, one pending in California. But ultimately, when COVID happened, a lot of these clerk's offices went digital.
And that's what hurt them.
That's what killed them. You know what? For them, it made their life easier, but it killed the average American. Because now these scammers can submit fraudulent bill of sale, fraudulent deed, title, notary, you name it, to the clerk's office directly. And legally speaking, no clerk's office can verify any documents they accept are legitimate. They have to accept them as truth.
Wow.
So if you're the government, right, and you say, hey, we're going to verify every single thing that comes through this office with employees that don't want to be there, let's be realistic,
right,
is perfect, and they slip up, now they're liable. Now they owe you, God, with the housing prices now,
right,
at least $1 million, and then pain and suffering, quote unquote,
right,
to handle the entire situation. So they would never want to accept liability. So we're here in a position removing the liability from the United States government on behalf of the average American citizen.
That's incredible.
Thank you, man.
No, seriously, it really is. You think
you.
about it. And I saw on the website the elders that you were helping, because that's just a huge problem.
So originally, deed fraud was primarily, once again, a long time ago, before the clerk's offices, the majority of them went digital, was a senior issue, or a vacant land,
right, or
a second property that you had in God knows where, right? Your vacation home. Now with those, you'd be none the wiser. And when it comes to a senior, if you mail them anything and you say, hey, sign this, they go, okay, sure, no problem. It's like, great, it's for your Target credit card, whatever it happens to be. They'll believe it, and they'll sign it, they'll mail it back in. But you have to remember the internet that's out there, all of us, when we think of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we see about 3% of the internet.
That's right.
We have access to about 3% of the internet. The rest of it is the dark web.
I was just going to say the dark web. People don't even equate that to it being an issue.
And you would never want to even try to find those websites, because the second you find it, it's going to pull the data right off your computer and completely crash it.
That just exposes you.
Yeah, you could go to www.x3pg7q8.com And it turns out to be a data mining website that wipes your computer and steals your banking information. So if you're interested in finding dark websites, don't
Right,
go,
don't even
go
look.
looking for them.
Right.
But that dark web data trade is the largest industry that would honestly be listed on the NASDAQ.
Yeah,
That
right.
can, of course, never be.
Right. That's incredible. But it's true, and it does happen. And people go to your website. I see that they could sign up monthly, and you got all kinds of different packages because,
Yes.
you got to protect yourself. So if you have a property and you want to protect yourself, there's a reason why you go to deedlock.com, which is also goldpatrons.com. I know they go
Yes.
to the same place,
Yeah.
but it's easier sometimes for people to remember the deedlock.
That was the biggest thing.
How easy is that?
Originally, I built Gold Patrons at the tail end of COVID, where we were trying to help small businesses get back on their feet with, at the time, NFT technology was very popular, with an NFT rewards program for small businesses. So let's say Joe's Coffee had to close, right? But Starbucks and Dunkin' was open, yet they sell the same service. One's essential, one's not. We're not going to go into all the reasons why,
Right,
blah,
right,
blah, blah,
right.
but we get it. When Joe's was allowed to open back up, all of a sudden their loyal customers were somewhere else. They had back rent to pay, employees to pay, back insurance to pay, you name it. But their standard customer base didn't just turn back on like it always did. As a matter of fact, they needed more and quick to just try to break even and sustain themselves as a small business here in the United States.
Right.
So we developed the Gold Patron Program, hence the name, where if you walked into Joe's Coffee every day and they said, hey, for $100 today, you get a free small coffee anytime you walk in here for the next year. The margins are there for coffee, so they made profit regardless.
Right.
But more importantly, that customer loyalty was once again reestablished. And you and I, and I'm sure everybody that was at this event tonight, if somebody handed you a free coffee, you would throw at least $1 or $5 in the tip jar.
That's right. So the coffee was the lost leader.
Precisely. So it allowed them to recoup their losses for our transaction, where we would charge them $1,000 for 100 copies of this NFT technology. And the reason we use NFTs is because if it was a bit of a shady place and they use paper copies for this type of promotion, they make a paper copy, give it to their buddies, now the store's losing money. But when they charged $100 for it, all of a sudden, the first 10 people and loyal customers at a coffee shop, they're in there by 7 a.m.
Right.
So they made their money back by day one, 7 a.m. The other 90 was $9,000 of cash flow to kind of help them get back on their feet a little bit. And eventually, we discovered deed and title theft. And I wasn't in real estate. I'd sold my first company at 21, built it at 19. I bought my gym, which was always my dream, to go open up my own gym, and a rental property. That was it. So from that point on, I'm like, what is deed and title theft? And I just go down the rabbit hole. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners,
Oh my God, yeah, that's
including
gotta be
yourself, have seen The Big Short.
sure. Yeah.
So I'm looking around like a crazy person. I'm like, what's deed for? And I'm just going down the rabbit hole, like I said. Well, this is a problem. And I'm looking around, well, there's got to be a solution. There's a solution for everything. And there's no solution.
That's right.
And I'm sitting here with a tech security company. So I'm like, if I just tweak our software a little bit, I think we solved the problem.
Right. So you saw the solution.
Precisely. So originally we started by giving NFT copies of the deeds to the banks and saying, hey, bank, if any other type of HELOC, second mortgage, you name it, comes on this address and this name, but there's something askew, red flag, something's wrong.
Right.
But my problem with that was the scammer had stolen your house months, if not years prior to, and it required the bank to do their due diligence. And I don't like building something that allows somebody else to do their job perfectly for us to protect the customer base. So I said, how can we ramp this up? So we developed AI technology for the company, originally called Arch,
Okay.
which is actually named after my dog Archer.
That's so
It's
cool.
irrelevant, but it makes me happy.
That's awesome.
Automatic response to changed homes. So that, at the time, brought us catching if any change to your deed happened whatsoever in any clerk's office in this country, including the non-digitized counties.
Wow.
Because for them, we found local data companies to go there, collect the information, digitize, and send it back to us. Early on, we would know within a 1-week span. And I tested it by stealing my own rental property. I'm like,
Is that legal?
No. But I'm like, if I don't do it wrong, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I could do that. I wanted to put it in LLC.
Right.
My bad, guys.
Right. Sorry, I was trying to steal my own property. Can I break into my own house?
It's like calling a locksmith, but on your deed.
That's right. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And sure enough, 1 week later, our system pinged, and I'm sitting here like, holy shit, it works. Because
Right.
I had no coding background or nothing.
Right,
and I taught
right.
myself just enough to get it done. petrified to give it to a programmer because I knew I had stumbled across something really unique
He's
here.
just going to copy this and take it down the road. And that was your biggest,
Yeah.
that was your biggest fear.
Once I had a patent pending, I brought in a proper programmer, and I'm like, hey, listen, this works. But the code is completely held together by duct tape. Or if I add one thing, it all falls apart. One guy brought me up to catching it every 48 hours, and we had somebody else come and sharpen it up a couple of years ago that brought it real time every 24 hours, which is when we get our data dumps in.
Wow.
So we know in real time if any citizen of this country, or really any homeowner technically, falls victim to deed fraud or has any transfer in the deed whatsoever. Because if we see a transfer, we don't know if it's fraud or not until we get a hold of you. Hey, did you sell your house and forget to let us know? In a much more polite manner would be the phone call you would receive from DeedLock. And typically they would say, no, and who are you?
Right.
Because we're usually B2B. I'm like, listen, don't panic. You got us services from one of our 4,000 offices we're in, or 800 companies plus across the country. I'm like, you were the victim of deed fraud, but don't panic. You're 8 months to a year at minimum before that HELOC fraud, second mortgage fraud, collateralized loan fraud could ever be a possibility, let alone a concerning factor right now. So we're going to assist you in mitigating the process, getting the home back in your name, and ultimately, if there's any fees associated whatsoever, we're fully covering it.
Wow.
We're not an insurance company, and I make that crystal clear.
Right.
But we just back our word by saying you will not lose your home by covering those fees.
So what is the process on their end now? They're trying to fraudulently take your deed. How does that process happen? How long does it take? Because you just said you intercepted it and got it, and you're 8 months to a year out before anything could really happen.
Yeah.
That we're way ahead of the game, which is now kudos to you and credit to your
Thank you.
processing and how fast you got everything working now in 24 hours. It's almost real time.
Yeah.
You know, which it is. It's real time.
Yeah, it's real
so
time.
what's the process for them to take? You tried to steal your own deed, but
Yeah.
you know, if I was you were gonna steal my deed, what's the process? How long does that take?
So first thing you have to remember is if you think your information is private nowadays, it's not.
No.
Everybody's social is out there, mother's maiden name, your dog's first name, everything is out there.
Just go search your own name on Google. Just start there,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, holy shit.
Exactly.
My
And you'll
wife's
find,
name comes up.
Are you looking for Joe Smith's social security number? Here it is, just on Google SEO.
Right.
So your information, because of the dark web transfers, is wildly aggressive everywhere. And for those of you who don't think, oh, my stuff is locked up tight, open your recent calls and how many red numbers do you have in there that automatically went to voicemail because it was all scam calls and they got your phone number. So what the scammers do is they have your information and they'll submit that fraudulent bill of sale, fraudulent deed, title, notary, everything to the clerk's office. And you, as the homeowner, quote unquote, sold either half the property and put their name on it or the property in full to this scammer. So it just looks like a simple real estate transaction.
Wow. That's incredible.
And they use AI technology to forge your signature, to forge anything they could possibly need, which is the reason why this got so much worse in these recent years.
Yeah, it's because of digitalization, and now they also there's the processing where you go to do the mortgage. What's that? The
Clerk's office.
yeah, so you go to the clerk's office. That clerk's office, by them digitizing, like you said, made them more vulnerable.
They digitized, but they didn't upgrade their security.
Which is what they should have done the security first and beta
100%.
tested it for years
So
before they did that.
So you have scammers, their security is up here. Their maliciously built AI is up here. Because people are thinking right now, oh, well, ChatGPT can't do that. They have maliciously built AI specifically for fraud. This level of AI easily trumps a Windows XP computer that's barely running at a clerk's office somewhere in the country.
Owned by the government or the state.
And it would cost them billions.
You know how antiquated these places are.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
It would cost them billions upon billions of dollars to upgrade the security,
Right.
to upgrade all of the devices, to handle the security. And the worst of it is teaching these employees
How to handle it.
how to use it.
How to handle it, right? How to
Exactly.
use the equipment. So let's
Precisely.
just 1 out of 67 get scammed.
Yeah, why not?
It's
right?
easier, right? It's easier.
Yeah, forget about it.
So did you finish stealing your house? Were you able to do it?
Yeah, it worked fine. My system pinged. I'm like, oh my God. And then I just left it in that name because I'm like, well, I'm not going to change it back now. And then I sold the property, so it was fine. So the scammer sold my property.
You scammed yourself to sell your
I
own
did.
property. That's incredible, and it worked.
It's ludicrous.
So it takes time for them to the whole process. But like we said, their equipment is way far advanced with the AI than the protection that you have,
And the reason...
which is why they need you.
Yes. And the reason that it's a 8-month to multi-year waiting period before the scammers can actually execute something is we catch that deed change effective immediately. That's no problem.
Okay.
But if you or I went and purchased a house in cash tomorrow, and we looked at our account, you're like, I might have bit off more than I can chew. Let me pull some equity out of this. There's going to be a lot of red tape.
Gotcha.
Because you just closed on that property and signals are up everywhere.
Right.
The scammers.
That's not something you're supposed to do.
Right.
Nobody would do that.
No, they're like, something's fishy.
That's
something's
a
going
big
on.
red flag.
And they want as minimal red flags as humanly possible. So they wait that long period. And guess what? As they're waiting, more and more equity is becoming available for them to steal.
Right.
Like we partner up with mortgage companies, real estate attorneys, title companies, underwriters, even contractors and restoration companies. And remodeling companies, the other word I was thinking of.
Okay.
Because ultimately, they'll pull permits. So if you're going to get $50,000 of work done on your property, that scammer knows there's about to be $150,000 of free equity right there.
Right. Put into the house.
Waiting for the taking. Waiting for the taking.
Now, let me ask you this. When they actually do this whole process, how do they go about getting the people out of the house that they just stole? Like,
They don't have to. So getting your home stolen is easier than stealing a car.
oh my God.
Because if you look outside in the morning, your car's gone and you call the police.
Right.
But to the viewers out there, when was the last time you went to the county clerk's office to see if you still owned your own home?
Nobody's doing that.
Because why would you? It's ridiculous.
That's right.
The scammers know that. So without the monitoring system, anyone you can find, but we're the only ones, so sorry, hate to break it to you for now,
Right.
you'd have no idea that home was stolen. And they don't need to kick you out. They put a fraudulent lien on your property, took the money from that collateralized loan, that HELOC or that second mortgage, because they took it out in your name. From that point on, the scammer doesn't have to kick you out. The bank kicks you out
Because you didn't
you're
pay.
foreclosed
That's right.
for a lien you didn't know was on your property to begin with.
So that's how it works.
Yes.
That's the reason for that question.
Yes.
Is they don't physically have to remove them. They've already taken the money and the equity out.
Yeah.
And now the bank thinks you haven't paid.
The bank thinks
And now the bank's going to foreclose and kick you out.
Yeah. They think you were just irresponsible with all this $200,000, $250,000, whatever they took out of your property. You didn't make a payment, and it looks like buyer's remorse.
But you said it. You said it the best. And I totally understood that. You said they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening behind, like, who goes to the clerk's office to check their deed? Nobody's ever done that.
Nobody. Why
Nobody.
Would you? Nobody wants to go to the courts for anything.
That's insane.
It's a scary, scary thing. And the reason we partner up with so many companies is we don't just safeguard the families, but we safeguard the companies we partner with
Right.
for multiple reasons. First of which, a lot of you might be thinking now, I have title insurance, I'm okay. But title insurance looks backwards to make sure that there's nothing on that property that should not be on there when you close on that home. When you go forwards, it's the Wild West. So we partner up with title companies, and a lot of them, hundreds of them, to ensure that you are safeguarded prior because of them, and then for the future because of us. So there's no gap in ensuring that your home is only in your name and ensuring that nothing is on there that doesn't belong on there in the first place. And when it comes to mortgage companies, mortgage banks, if you're going to sign a 30-year mortgage, they're expecting to get paid for 30 years.
30 years and not get scammed and you get foreclosed because you got scammed.
Yeah. So now they're taking a massive loss if they're going to service the loan.
So they love your service.
They love it because we have it on there significantly cheaper.
They probably want to include it in every home they sell.
They do. So we don't allow them to just sell it as one-offs because
Okay.
they're trying to sell a mortgage and we don't want that to be the way.
Right.
It just adds too many complications and ultimately never gets done. So we're in there automatically as deed lock for a significantly cheaper price than you're able to see online. And for the consumers on there, it's because they just went through title insurance, so we know everything's clean from day one, so everything's okay. But they're the ones that are going to lose out when they're servicing the loan and they plan to hold it forever to that 30-year period for that foreclosure. So it's essentially mortgage fraud insurance. And when it comes to a lot of the mortgage brokers, and there's a lot of them on Long Island that just sell the loans off, right?
Right.
Guess what? Your risk mitigation factor to sell that loan, you can sell it for a significantly more money because you ensured that, hey, these properties that we're selling you now, everything that comes out of our office, we're selling off. will not fall victim to deed fraud, causing you, the servicer, to lose your investment.
So it really, you filled the need there. You really did. You filled the need.
Thank you.
And it covered a lot of asses, I'm sure, along the way.
We catch
Think
4
about it.
scammers a week.
How many?
4 a week, but we're only covering about
So that's
600.
200 and something a year.
But we're only covering about 600,000 homes.
Right.
So we're missing a lot of them,
Right.
simply because we're not covering the properties.
And where does your coverage, these 600, where is it? Where?
Full nationwide.
Okay, so it is nationwide.
Full nationwide.
Okay.
Yep, all 50 states.
That's why you're working with so many of those big companies.
Exactly.
You have to be everywhere.
Exactly. They have to be everywhere. And we're happy to be everywhere.
Right.
We don't want this just to be a New York exclusive thing where, the guys in Florida, who cares, let them lose their homes.
Right.
We're
right.
here to build something that safeguards truly Americans the best possible way we can.
So this, at the end of the day, this is something that every homeowner should have.
100%.
Every homeowner should have it.
100%.
So why don't you have it? Ask yourself that question. And when's the last time you went to the clerk's office? There's
exactly.
There's another no-brainer. I'm going tomorrow morning. I'm going to get to know the clerk.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring her coffee. That coffee we were talking about? I'm going to bring her coffee and say, hey, listen, if my name pops up here, you call me.
Yeah.
Let me see how that works. She ain't going to remember me.
No, not a chance.
Not a chance. And that antiquated computer that she's running.
No.
See, you got to make it so that they'll remember it at least. You guys got to head over to deedlock.com. And I say deedlock because that's easier to remember because we're talking about the deeds. But it's goldpatron.com is the name that he really came up with. And it had nothing to do with Gold Tequila. So it's not Gold Patron.
Yeah, that's a funny story I have, actually.
It is.
When I built the company, I'm not a tequila guy. I'm a bourbon man. I like my old fashions.
Okay, old fashioned with the smoke coming out of them.
Absolutely. I was a tequila guy. So I went and Googled myself, and I'm typing in gold patrons, and it's full of tequila. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, I messed up.
What are the chances?
I messed up. So eventually, I stumbled across the name Deedlock, and the username, the URL was available for a ridiculous price, but I grabbed it because I'm like, okay, yeah, I have to.
Got to have that one.
So that's instead of just calling it Gold Patrons Post-Closing Fraud Prevention, it's a mouthful, you have Deedlock coverage.
Right, Deedlock coverage.
Plain and simple.
It tells you what it is in the name without having to ask any questions.
Simple as that.
Which is a no-brainer.
Yep.
Good job. Kudos
Exactly.
to you. Great job. Deedlock.com, guys, and we all need it, and everybody should have it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your mortgage company wants you to have it.
Absolutely.
If they haven't already recommended it to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a commercial tow captain, and when people buy new boats, a lot of these boat manufacturers will recommend to them, hey, we give you a 90-day trial so that you have this commercial tow. So if something happens to the boat, you buy a brand new boat, you don't realize it could break down. Things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So everybody wants to kind of cover their asses and do something to you. But then you got to go the extra mile after that and call Deedlock yourself and purchase this if your mortgage company didn't give it to you.
Yeah.
So like you said, so that's the best way to do it.
1,000,000%. So if you don't have it attached to your mortgage automatically, which you would know if you have it because you would have gotten a certificate at closing
Right.
saying you have it, I would recommend one of two things. I would either go to deedlock.com and grab service, or I would contact your mortgage broker.
I was going to say, how do they check to see if they have it? What's the best
They would
way?
have a certificate. They would have a certificate.
So you would have a
issued
certificate that
from
you
their
know
mortgage
about?
company. Yes.
100%. Okay.
100%.
So if you don't have a certificate, you don't have
They
it.
make it crystal clear.
Okay.
Or they would contact the mortgage company, let them know, hey, listen, I heard about this thing. How come you didn't give that to me? And we're not trying to make it an aggressive standpoint, but it will be cheaper to go through the mortgage company than it will be to purchase it from deedlock.com.
Gotcha.
There's no question
there's
about that.
And that's a fair way to put it to them is
Yes.
go to your mortgage company and do it through your mortgage. He's even looking to save you money doing it.
Yeah, the reason we have it cheaper through them, just so consumers don't think we're banging them over the head, is when we sign on a mortgage company, we're doing hundreds, sometimes thousands of loans a month from different companies.
Right.
So the volume's there.
That's right.
So for our systems, it makes sense, and we can
You'll give it a cheaper discount, work in higher volume.
Precisely.
And that's a no-brainer.
And we can afford to, because running data every single day is not a cheap thing, which is why we have to charge what we charge for those one-offs.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
And if you're a homeowner, you want to hang on to your deed. That's one thing you don't want to go. You don't want to try to steal your house like he did, because not everybody's going to be that good at it.
And a trust will not protect you either.
Oh, so having the home in a trust won't protect you if they steal the...
Because the trust, quote unquote, sold it to the scammer. Your home's in a trust and you come into a financial situation, you need to sell your property, you can legally sell your home. So the trust is the one who sold to the scammer instead of you being the one scammed. The trust was scammed. But regardless, you're still the individual living in that property. And all of these fraud and scams, bank account hacks, it is becoming so aggressively prevalent in today's day and age.
Sure.
Especially as technology gets significantly more advanced.
People are doing this from their phones.
We work with FBI, CIA, the DA's office, senator, all over the place to protect homeowners as fast as possible. Where if you call the DA's office sometimes, you say, my deed was stolen. They go, yeah, we'll get back to you. Well, we have their cell number. We make sure it's happened and handled right away.
No, right.
But
you don't want to, once you discover this, you don't want to waste time.
There's no time to waste because they wouldn't have discovered it until they went into foreclosure without our service. So now it's an arms race of, can I afford $250,000 in legal fees to keep up to save my own home for something that wasn't even my fault?
No, you did nothing wrong.
Exactly.
You just never went to the clerk's office and checked on whether you have the deed or not.
Exactly.
Which, who's doing that? Nobody's doing that.
Nobody's doing it. It's crazy. And even if I scared the bejesus out of you after this.
Right.
And you go, I gotta go to
everybody's going to the clerk's office tomorrow. They're seeing this. They're all running. It's going to be lines.
I hope so. But one key you want to look for on that deed is what we see a lot nowadays is we've cost scammers just under $1 billion in what would have been profit for them, which means we've saved families and banks just under $1 billion of losses. They're getting antiquated to it. They know that we're out there.
That's right. So now they're going to try to figure out a loophole.
They did figure out a loophole. They tried. So John Panetti owns a home, right? Personal ownership is going to be the entity ownership of that property. They'll start John Panetti LLC, DBA John Panetti. So to the naked eye, my deed, oh no, it's still in my name, it's good. But that entity ownership changed from a personal to a business entity now.
Right. And for $500, they can go form that LLC and
done, no problem.
And it's easy. They have it in their name right away.
Yeah. Or they just take
1 day it takes.
Or they took one of the thousands of LLCs they already have from other frauds, other scams,
right?
And they just do a DBA. They just DBA flip them.
That's right.
Yeah. But because these frauds and everything are so prevalent right now, that's why we're so proud to announce that we started the organization Fraud Free America.
That's pretty cool. I like the name.
Thank you. Thank you. So essentially, if somebody hacks your bank account and they steal $4 million out of your account, that was your retirement, it's gone now. The banks typically aren't going to give that back. FDIC is usually insured for $250,000.
Right.
Good luck getting that back.
They have a sign on the counter at the teller. They tell you.
They tell you.
Right here, it's posted.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't see that?
Yeah. Like, sorry, man, maybe go to the other bank. Oh, they're insured for the same.
Right.
Because that's how it happens.
Right.
That scammer is going to get about 2 years in jail, give or take. But guess what they learned? And keep in mind, the money's gone, you're never getting it back, and they transferred the money far away, so they're keeping it. They're sitting in jail nice and pretty.
With all your money.
Making $2 million a year in jail.
Right.
And they got out, and they learned what not to do. So they can get away with it next time.
They figured out how they got caught.
Precisely.
And then they upped their game.
So we have to raise, and if you can go to fraudfreeamerica.org, we're accepting donations. We need to raise about $250,000 for lobbying and marketing to harshen the punishments and aggressively harshen the punishments for these scammers, where it's no longer equitably responsible for them to steal this property. Where if you get 20 years in jail,
right, you're
that's not worth $4 million.
No, not when you're 20 years old. You're coming out at 40 years old.
Yeah,
half your life is gone.
And whoever was holding that money for you, they took it and spent it already. It's gone.
That's right.
But not just that. We're adding a DUI component to it.
Right.
Where if you get too many DUIs, you lose your license.
You lose everything.
So how can we stop scammers and fraudsters and hackers from doing this once again after the fact?
Second offense, double the penalty.
Guess what? After the first offense, you can no longer have a bank account or an EIN number.
There you go.
Because if you're submitting scams and you're stealing money from people online,
you shouldn't be allowed to have any.
In person, it's robbery. That's different. It's cash.
Right.
But scams and fraud online, it's all digital. But if they don't have a bank account to send those funds to, they can no longer commit scams within the United States.
See?
And that's our goal.
Yeah, I love the name.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
And it has a website for the .org, Fraudulent Free America.
Fraudfreeamerica.org.
Fraudfreeamerica.org.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Good for you, man. Listen, when you figure things out and you figure out a way, it takes a lot of hard work and energy to put into this to get it out so that the masses know about it.
Absolutely. And that was our biggest hurdle.
Without a doubt.
Like I said, it was trying to sell fire insurance. People didn't discover fire yet. And that's why we went B2B. Because the mortgage companies, the attorneys, the title companies, they knew that it was an underlying issue.
They're the ones taking the hit.
They're taking the hit. Their customers are taking the hit, but they didn't know what to do about it.
Right. They didn't have a fix.
What could we do? And that's why we're here.
That's you stepped in.
Precisely.
Deedlock.com. I love it. It's awesome. And head on down to your clerk's office tomorrow. Tell me how you made out.
Yeah.
Shoot them an email. So if they do want to get in touch with you,
Yes.
we gave them the website.
Yes.
We know you can go and check out John and say hello and say, hey, here's what I need. You could do it cheaper through your mortgage company if you want to call your mortgage company and find out about it. But if you have a bunch of properties and you just want to sign up, they go to the website. They can literally sign up for the service right there.
Simple as that. Yep.
And how does that work with them? You guys contact them, you reach out, you get your exchange of paperwork. What
Super
does it take?
seamless. So we never need anybody's social security number, private information, nothing.
Right, and you shouldn't. Nobody
there's
should
no
be giving
reason.
that information out.
Exactly.
If they ask you for it right away, it's a scam.
If anybody's saying, hey, I work with Deed Lock, we need your social, the answer is no.
Right.
Because we will never ask you for your social security number or anything and remotely close to that. I might ask for your receipt number to make sure you had the coverage when a claim comes in.
Right.
But that's it. And guess what? We have it. We just want to verify to make sure that it is in fact you. But when it comes to actually getting the coverage online, you would buy it like you're checking out of Amazon, where this is my address, this is my name, here's a couple of information. If it's in a trust, just let us know. If there's a different trust name, let us know. And from that point on, your address is automatically inserted to our database, and you have complete coverage and can expect a certificate made for you, emailed over within 24 hours.
And now you're emailing it to them. Do they have to take that certificate and give it to the mortgage company or do anything
There's
with
nobody
it?
to give anything to.
That's it.
It's just a piece
Sit
of paper
tight.
that says to them, hey, remember you have this.
I got security. Don't have to go to the clerk's office now.
No,
You
exactly.
save them a trip to the clerk. Hey, if you go to goldpatrons.com, you can save yourself a trip to the clerk's office.
Yeah, that's the ad right there. What are we doing talking about deed fraud?
Right. I just came up with it.
Do you not want to go to the courts? Boy, do I have the product for you.
Stay away from the clerk's office. Just go to goldpatrons.com or
Yeah.
deedlock.com. Save yourself the headache.
It's like going to the clerk's office 7 days a week.
That's incredible.
That's exactly what it is.
Good for you. And it's quick now. It's fast. It's real time, 24-hour. Man, it used to
Yep.
be a wait for you to get that.
Yep. No, it's immediate coverage. Everything's fully taken care of from that point on.
Did you practice stealing any more of your properties?
No.
So you're done?
No.
That was it? You were one and done?
Stole my one property. Go, great, it works with the duct tape held together code I wrote. I'm like, great, it works. And I know their code works that the programmers wrote for me because we catch 4 scammers a week right now.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
And it's growing. So they're catching 4. How many are getting away with it? If 1 in 67 it's happening to, think
Yeah.
of all the people that have homes, that have deeds. They're trying. So they're trying to get you.
Well, we cover about 600,000 homes in this country, and we're going to be close to 1 million with some larger corporations and mortgage companies we're signing currently.
And how
by
many
the end of
homes
this
are in
year.
the country?
160 plus million.
160 plus million.
Yeah, and we cover not just anything with a deed, but anything that could have a deed. So if you look at, let's say, the Fairfield apartment complexes, right?
Right.
It's all owned with that one conglomerate Fairfield, and that's just that one address on the deed. But nothing is legally stopping them from selling Unit 302.
Right.
So if we signed a Fairfield, which we've signed other apartment complexes in the past,
Right.
we register each individual apartment as its own deed in our database.
Gotcha.
So the second a
So the
deed
address
pops
comes up with an apartment number 302, condo, apartment, whatever it is.
Hey, apartment complex, did you sell Unit 302?
No.
Well, listen, somebody did.
just got your deed.
Exactly.
It's that easy.
It
You hear
is.
that, Fairfield? Give them a call.
Easier than stealing a car.
I'll take a commission on the Fairfield deal. I'm just kidding. So head on goldpatrons.com. You like that one, right?
That's a good one.
And deedlock.com. I keep saying that, guys, because I went to the website myself, and I loved how you guys protected. I mean, for, what was it, $60, $5 a month,
Yeah.
$60 a year.
Yeah.
You're protecting the elder, 65 and older.
So that's
From
our
scam.
Safeguard 65 program.
Right. That's not Deedlock.
That's not Deed Lock.
No.
Deed Lock is $24.95 a month or $2,500 lifetime coverage.
Right, it was a lifetime
which
coverage I
includes
saw.
if you move, that goes to your new address.
Right, okay.
We like to care about the family, not the foundation that they stand on.
No, but I like that you were doing things for the elders, and it was really
that's-
cheap. It was really at a.
And that's the reason we have Safeguard 65, because with all the mortgage companies, title companies we partner with, we're not just deed fraud. We became the authority in scam and fraud prevention within the United States. So we'll have mortgage companies contact us, be like, hey, this guy fell victim to a HELOC fraud. This guy fell victim to, their grandma had a love scam. This one had wire fraud. Can you do something about it? Can you do something about it? And that's why we developed Safeguard 65.
So you grew into the scams. You had
We
the
accidentally
protection
became the authority figure on it.
had a necessity. It was need. There was a
Yeah.
need for it.
So Safeguard 65, we're not going to take your grandma's Facebook and not let her send any money, right?
Right.
In a perfect world, that'd be great. But we're going to be there to verify that anything that you send to us, as well as education about what scams to look for, is a scam or is truly legitimate. Because you and I both know if you're trying to talk to your parents or anybody, and they tell you, oh yeah, this happened, you're like, dude, that sounds like a scam. You're like, oh, you don't know any better. But when you tell your parents, hey, an authoritative presence, a company, let me just run it by that company first.
That's right.
To see if it's a scam.
Let's get their second opinion. They do this for a living.
Let's get that verification.
Right.
Oh, Mom, it turns out it was a scam. Oh, see, I knew it was a scam. Because, yeah, you didn't, and you didn't believe me.
Nope.
But you can be on your high horse, that's fine. More importantly, that scammer doesn't have your bank information now.
Right. And we could all say, we all know some of our parents are pretty damn gullible. The shit we got away with as kids. So we know they're pretty gullible. And in their older age, you know, you got dementia, you got all these things happening. So God only knows protecting them is what we really need to do.
It only gets easier.
Yeah.
We had a case where, and this is before Safeguard 65 existed, where a friend of mine from a long time ago, she's a therapist, and she asked me to come on to a therapy call with her with some of her clients because the mother was aggressively falling victim to some love scam.
Okay.
It was this guy, and he was going to buy her an apartment, move in with her, blah, blah, blah. It was all, sounded great, but it was all absolute nonsense.
It was the Tinder swindler.
The Tinder swindler of 85-year-old women.
That's unbelievable.
He had a type, I guess.
Right.
So what happened was, I'm like, just do yourself a favor. I go, call him out as a scammer. And the second he answers you, I bet he's going to reply, you're right, I am a scammer, but I actually fell in love with you. And I really only need $10,000, not $50, to come and live my life with you.
Right. Oh, my God.
Sure enough, this woman didn't believe me, didn't believe the therapist, didn't believe the family. She lost every dollar she had. She sold her house, lost that, and ended up taking her own life.
That's a sad story, but that's...
But stories like that, they're what are forced to inspire change in this world.
100%.
Where, you know, like TSA wasn't as strict until things started to happen.
That's right. And they needed to be because we had our guard down.
Yeah.
And you can't have... In this day and age, it's a no-brainer. You can't have your guard down.
Not even a little bit.
And this is why you're in business, and that's why you're so very successful at what you do, because you fulfilled a need that all homeowners in America needed. And I kind of love that about it. It's awesome. It's a great storyline. It's a great business. Deedlock.com, goldpatrons.com. To close it out, give them, you want to tell them where to go, what to do, how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
What's the best way?
So first and foremost, if you want to look into signatures for fraudfreeamerica.org and you don't feel like donating, you can't donate, whatever it is, you lost all your money into a scam last week, you can still sign that. It's free, completely free of charge, to say, hey, unlike everybody else, I stand against fraud, and we are on the front lines against fighting fraud. We want to make sure we're in that fight. So that's free of charge.
That's number one. That's free. Go take care of that.
That's free because that protects everybody. And we want to make sure everyone is covered. Second of all, if you want coverage for your home, whether it's Safeguard 65 or our Deedlock coverage, you can either go to goldpatrons.com or deedlock.com to get coverage for yourself today, or contact your mortgage provider and let them know, hey, you should probably email contact@goldpatrons.com, or my personal work email, John Panetti, JOHNPIGNETTI, @goldpatrons.com, spelled just like it sounds. And we can set up a meeting to try to make sure that you're covered, but also everybody else that goes through that process with them is covered as well.
It's John Panetti, and the G is silent.
Yes.
But there was a G in there.
And if you want to learn more about fraud and scams, I do a tremendous amount of work on social media, where my social media tag, there's a Gold Patrons one, which is just Gold Patrons, that's business. But at John Panetti, JOHNPIGNETTI, that's it. Where you can follow me. Feel free to message me on there. If you have a situation you're dealing with, but you don't have Safeguard 65 yet, I'll always be there to help out as much as we can regardless.
There you go, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. So if you don't rush down to the clerk's office tomorrow morning, I would definitely give John a call and deal with John. I'd rather deal with you than the clerk's office. I'll tell you that right now.
You got to deal with me once.
That's a no-brainer.
You got to go to the clerk's office every day.
Every day, just a reminder you were there the day before. I mean, forget it. Who wants to deal with that? But
Utter
seriously,
nonsense.
I really appreciate you coming down. ISM hosts this event once a month. We try to do it here on a monthly basis. The next one I think we're going to have at the 10,000 square foot studio that we have in Kings Park. We do like to change it up a little bit. But as far as that is concerned, we are very appreciative of you coming down here tonight and helping us create a listenership and give listenership to these great loyal listeners that we have for ISM Radio of some great content because you were fantastic. Now, I know you had a podcast in the past. I could tell.
I'm experienced.
You
I was on a big podcast relatively recently.
You knew the mic was a good mic. You knew, and you got the voice for it. So it was, we knew in the meeting in there right away. The next guy didn't want to talk after you. I wouldn't have had a problem. You know, I was an MC for many years, so I wouldn't have had a problem. But you,
no, of course not.
You did a great job in here. We really
so
appreciate
much.
you coming down.
No, I appreciate that.
Awesome,
Thank you.
John. Great meeting you.
Beautiful.
So Gage and John, ISM networking event right here at Ohika Castle, signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening to ISM Radio. Join us for our invitation-only executive networking event at the legendary Ohika Castle. For more information, visit ideastreammarketing.com.